The anti-France wave has spread to other parts of Africa too. Massive protests erupted in Chad after a French nurse shot dead a Chadian soldier at the French military base. Protesters stormed the army base and attempted to break in when soldiers fired shots in the air to disperse the crowd. The incident occurred on Tuesday in the base of Faye-Largeau, where troops are deployed under France's strategy of fighting jihadists in West Africa's Sahel. This is the second nation after Niger in recent times, where French troops are facing protests. It appears all African countries are waking to expel France from their territories. It is well known that there's no France without Africa. Specifically, the 14 French colonies in Africa that France is looting with the help of puppet leaders and dictators. However, Emmanuel Macron could now be losing grip on Chad after incidents in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso, amongst others. We wouldn't mention Gabon in this list because there are doubts that the coup in Gabon could be an orchestrated scam.
As France is struggling to pull out from Niger after the junta told them to do so, they are also struggling to maintain their influence in Chad. Chadians have come out to protest against France in their country. You know, France is like this guy that everyone thought was amazing, that everyone wanted to be friends with. But later on found out that he isn't as good as he looks. He isn't as cool as he looks. He isn't as innocent as we thought. That he is someone who wanted to take everything away from us. He is someone who is willing to bully us just so he can get our stuffs. He is someone who is not willing to stand for us, to fight for us, to do things that will benefit us. He is someone who only thinks about himself. He is a selfish and self-centered person. And so everyone is not trying to distance themselves from him. France is like that person. And instead of France taking a critical look at itself, really examining itself to understand what the problem is and to look for a way to make amends, France is taking the high road. France is out there lashing out and crying discrimination and unfair treatment from African countries. Emmanuel Macron is out there saying that anti-French sentiment is so out of hand in Africa, and he blames foreign influence like Russia and Turkey. He doesn't think that France is responsible for what they are going through in Africa. He doesn't believe that. According to him, it's outside people or outside influence that are trying to set confusion between France and the people of Africa. Isn't that very, very cynical? So France does not know that the people in Africa are being exploited. France does not know that the people in Africa are being abused. So France will pretend not to know that their activities in Africa have negatively impacted the people in Africa. So France will claim not to know all this. France honestly believes that the problem they are facing in Africa is caused by other people or other nations. Really? France? Really? I think France is like that narcissistic guy who is not willing to take any responsibility for their own actions. Very, very poor of France. So let's go through this article that explains why the people in charge are so angry with France and how they have taken to the street in protest. So let's go through it. The headline reads, French army medic fatally shoots Chadian soldiers after being attacked. An army nurse at the French military base in northern Chad shot dead a Chadian soldier who had attacked him, triggering protests by local people, the regional governor told AFP on Wednesday. The incident occurred on Tuesday in the base of Faya Lagarde, where troops are deployed under France's strategy of fighting jihadis in the West African Sahel. A Chadian soldier who was not in a normal state went to the French army base to get bandaged up a scrapple and wounded a French military nurse, General Ali Madikabi, the governor of the Boku region, to AFP. The nurse used his firearm and killed him, he said. After hearing of the soldier's death, the people of Fire demonstrated all day long outside the entrance to the base and tried unsuccessfully to get inside. The crowd dispersed at nightfall, he said, describing the attack on the nurse as an isolated incident. France is struggling with a wave of discontent among its former African colonies, where coups in Mali and Burkina Faso have prompted it to pull its forces out of these countries. I think it didn't prompted France to pull its troops from this country. The country told France to move. France would have loved to stay in these countries, but the junta said no, France had to go. I think this article was written by Franz Venkad, so we can all understand how they will rephrase everything. That this Chadian soldier went all cuckoo on the French force, and the French military personnel or the French medical personnel had no choice but to use his weapon to safeguard himself. Well, we might never know what really happened. But the bottom line is, Chadian are now saying that France has to leave their country because they have realized that France is not bringing any peace to their country. And they are not much more safer having French forces in their country than not having them. France is fighting jihadis in the Sahel. How long will it take for them to keep fighting the jihadis in the Sahel? That's the question everyone is asking themselves. Will France just stay there indefinitely because they have to keep fighting jihadist movement in the Sahel? When is all this going to end? When? So to you guys out there, what is your take on the excuses given by this news outlet as to the reason why the French medic shot dead a Chadian soldier? Do you believe what they are saying, or are they trying to cover up something? And also, do you think that the protest in Chad is just about this single isolated incident alone, or there is a far more larger issue with France that the Chadians are against? Please share your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below, because like always, we love hearing what you have to say. And also, don't forget to like this video, share this video, follow our Facebook page, and most importantly, subscribe to this channel, because little bit of good tweet, like the one you're doing just now, help us a lot, and we shall forever be grateful to you. So thank you very much for doing just that. And like always, see you in the next one.